All right, what is up, y'all? Will here with Schedulefly, and this is the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast, brought to you by us here at Schedulefly. Simple, web-based restaurant employee scheduling software, backed up by legendary customer service and at a very low price point. For some reason, we have not raised our prices since 2007, so 18 years of the same prices. So if you are on pencil and paper or Excel and scheduling and communication is a headache for you, we got some easy, effective aspirin for you. If it's not a headache for you, keep doing what you're doing. We're here for you when you're ready. If you are on 7 shifts, hot schedules, Sling, one of these other competitors of ours, and you're really happy, stay with them. If you don't love it, or you don't love the fact that your price keeps going up because they're venture backed or publicly traded or owned by private equity and price goes up, service goes down, we got your back. We have simple monthly pricing. My personal cell phone is on our website at schedulefly.com on like 3 pages. You can call me, text me anytime. Happy to wrap, tell you what's going on over here. 30-day free trial. We'd love for you to give us a shot. Schedulefly.com. Now, let's get to this episode. We are fortunate to have Sean on here today, who I've barely ever even talked to. So this is a cool opportunity. We got connected with him by a company named Business Debut that we love, and my buddy Ross down there. And Sean and I have carved out some time this beautiful Friday morning to catch up, hear his story, find out what he's doing down in Florida and where he's been and where he is now and where he's going. So, Sean, with that, introduce yourself, my man.
I'm Sean Marsiglia. We own a few restaurants down here in Tampa. Two of them are which are Three Brothers Pizza. So that's where we're going to be using Schedule Fly, that's for sure. And then we have various other businesses that I keep shooting myself and beating myself up because I keep adding more shit to my plate. But it's the opportunity that is always where everyone's seeking, I guess, and I say yes a lot, and it opens up so many doors like this, for example. So I try to say yes to everything and just see what the outcome is.
Oh, man. I got so many things we're going to talk about. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about saying yes to everything, which I'm guilty of a lot of times. Also, the idea of called hell yes or no. So we'll get into that. You opened up several things I want to talk about. Okay. Well, first of all, the only thing that I ask, I think everybody that comes on this podcast to just sort of kick it off, because I'm really always super interested, as is our audience, with finding out, your story, right? So how did you get and when did you get dialed in to hospitality, like first time in your life?
First time, I was playing baseball for ever, and always looking at the pros and doing all that stuff. So I went to college, and I went to college for baseball. I didn't go to college for anything else. So
Yeah.
we this was in, I think, 2007. I was being looked at by the Reds and the Phillies, and just hitting over 90, righty, and 18 years old. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was playing 2 days before we were supposed to go to North Carolina, not South Carolina, but North Carolina. And I played volleyball thinking that nothing's ever going to happen. I broke my right elbow. And then I was out they said that I was supposed to be out for 8 to 10 months. And I was out in 4 months. I was throwing out 4 months just because I wanted to get back into it. So in the meantime, the likelihood of me throwing again the way I was, I didn't have to, but I got a job at Chili's.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I sat down and I was like, I'll be your dishwasher, something that I can be in the back and hidden and I don't have to talk to anybody because I couldn't do this conversation. I would just sit in the corner and just like wait for everything to happen, and then I'll just clean it up. So I was talking to the GM, who I didn't know was a GM, and she said, "Have you ever served before?" And I'm like, "Oh, serving, like dropping off food? No, but I'll do it." I thought that a server, well, obviously it's like a waiter, but I thought it was just a waiter. I didn't think serving was. I thought serving was like food, dropping off food. So we're sitting down and I'm in training with two other people. They're talking amongst themselves and they're saying, yeah, I served over here, I served over there, and I'm doing expediting and the other one's doing to go. And they're like, yeah, it's some guy, someone took the serving position, but they said that it's going to open up. And they point at me like, what are you here for? I'm like, oh, I'm here for the serving job. Oh, where'd you serve before? I'm like, this is my first job. I don't know. I've never served before. So like that's what kind of opened up my doors and started in the hospitality business right then and there. And then went from school. I didn't think baseball was going to really take off the way that it was, I thought it was going to. And then I really focused on accounting. So I was going to school for accounting.
Mm.
And, and then was an accountant for a few years. And, a friend of mine at the time had a pizzeria that was in Pennsylvania. And we worked out some sort of deal where I was able to leave the accounting firm and just learn everything in the kitchen. I already knew for the most part with accounting, I knew all the back end stuff. And it just, I don't know, everything happens for a reason, right? So my partner at my CPA firm didn't specialize in restaurants, but he had so many restaurants underneath his belt. So I was basically doing all the books and financing and audits and tax returns for a lot of these restaurants. So as far as like numbers wise, I kind of knew going into it like what these numbers should look like and what they should. So the back end I had, the front house I had because of Chili's. So now I just need to know the kitchen side. And then within a month I was running his restaurant. So he was working 6 days a week to then he's working two and I'm working the five and getting paid $9.17 an hour, working 75 hours a week. So deals didn't work out, and we just said it wasn't for us. And we found a restaurant that was in Tampa, Florida, for $20,000, and through a Hail Mary, bought it in 2015, and in this place called Odessa, Florida, which I didn't even think Tampa had an airport. I flew into Orlando,
Oh,
and yeah, it's just like it was so fast when we started the restaurant, and it just no for an answer. And that's why I said like saying yes to everything opened up so many doors for me and I guess my career that this was one of them. And I didn't take no for an answer either. So it was just like I had $100,000 to work with, and I just literally went all in, door to door, knocking on literally every single door, every business. When we first started, living on my business partner's couch for a month and a half, credit card debt through the roof, house still on the market in Pennsylvania. My kid and my wife was up in Pennsylvania still for a month and a half, and I just needed to get to break even. So within 15 days, we got to break even quickly, and I didn't get on payroll till month three. So that's what a lot of people don't understand is like with this grind, not just in the
yeah.
restaurant, but just I mean specifically the restaurant is just they don't really understand what it takes, and they see like the success now, and it's like, man, it's so easy. I can just open it up. Like, yeah, it's not really that easy.
Dude. Oh man. This is why I love what I do so freaking much, man, because uh we get to serve and we're focused at Schedule File on like independent restaurants, right?
Yeah,
And with that always comes the entrepreneurial journey, which is messy and hard and exciting and challenging and awesome and scary and everything in between. So, dude, I have got like 50 questions that just popped into my head based on this what you just told me. First of
yeah,
all, I want to take us want to take a side tangent here to talk about baseball.
yeah.
So I love baseball. And so where did you grow up, Sean?
I grew up in New York,
Okay.
so I'm a huge diehard Yankees fan, and this turns into where it's like my baseball career kind of finished, right? But
Yeah.
down here in Tampa, I mean, it's all year round,
Yeah.
and the amount of connections I've met within baseball. So we've fed and continue to feed the Tampa Yankees or the Tampa Tarpons. Uh, I mean, the list of professionals that live in Odessa and constantly come in, it's like as if I'm part of the gang.
No, that's
So
all.
for like David Wells is a close friend of ours. Toby Hall played he was a catcher for the
David
Rays.
Wells, dude, that guy was awesome. Oh
He's
man.
a man, and he is absolutely the man. And the amount of connections I met through him, it's just unreal, and it just keeps growing. So he just did, like, we're opening up a bagel shop August 1st, and he came in. So my business partner is a diehard Yankee fan, and I hit him up. I'm like, yo, just letting you know, Wells is on his way. I don't know, he's actually in the parking lot. And he's like, what do you mean he's in the parking lot? I'm like, our bakery's not open yet. So I'm like, he's there to test the bagels. And he's like, holy shit, David Wells is in my bakery right now trying my bagels. And he was there for almost 2 hours. So it's just like the baseball career is continuing to flow. And then we fed the Toronto Blue Jays, so the Blue Jays, like, you have the Blue Jays down here, you have the Rays, you have the Yankees, and you have the Phillies down here too. So it's like, I haven't done the Phillies yet, but it's just the baseball is constantly going.
Did
So
you
in the greatest way.
what position did you play?
I was a pitcher.
So you were a pitcher and you broke your right elbow and you were
Oh
right.
yeah. Yeah, so
Oh,
what's so crazy is, like, I hound my mom on it. So when everything happened, I called my mom and it's like, hey, I hurt my arm. I'm heading to the hospital. She doesn't say, like, are you okay? She doesn't say my mom. So my parents are in the corporate world. So my father was on Wall Street for 30 years. My mom was almost an executive for IBM. And so they were always constantly ingrained into us as like, you got to keep getting better and keep focusing on that. So when I had 16 out of 18 strikeouts, my father would sit me down and be like, all right, let's talk about the two that you didn't strike out. It's not
yeah,
not in a negative way. It's just that he was always trying to improve and grow.
yeah.
So when I called my mother and I said, hey, I hurt my arm. I'm into the hospital. Everything's okay. Not a big deal. The first question she asked me, which arm?
Yeah,
Not, are you okay? It's like, what's
right.
going on? Like, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's my right arm. And she goes, that's not good, Sean. That's not good. And they're from Staten Island, so they have that thick accent. And then and I said, hey, just don't tell dad, but I'm going to this hospital. So, and she's like, no, I'm not going to. I said, okay, cool. So I get to the hospital. I can barely put my arm on the chair because my arm is so blown up now. And I'm still, like, convinced that I didn't break it. There's no way that this could possibly happen. And I sit down, get my x-ray, and then the nurse says, hey, the doctor's going to be right in. I said, okay, cool. So I'm just sitting there in, like, complete silence. And I'm, like, trying to just still, like, psych myself out, saying it's not broken. I hear a knock at the door. And I'm like, okay, it's a doctor. And it's my dad. He's got this bright red face. And then he just looks at me. He goes, fucking volleyball, dude. Like, what are you doing? And then right after that, doctor comes in and says it's broken. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Does that mean, like, 3 weeks? And she's like, no, you're like 8 months out. And I'm like, okay, well, she goes, well, what do you want to do? You want to put a hard cast on, or do you want to do surgery? And I was like, okay, well, this is how, like, crazy I am. As we continue this story, like, through this podcast, it's going to be, I'm relentless. So I just said to her, I said, okay, which one is faster? And she says, like, what do you mean? I'm like, recovery wise, like, if I have a hard cast, is it going to take me longer to heal, or should I just take the surgery? She goes, well, the surgery is going to be fast. I'm like, I'll take the surgery. So within 2 days, I had this guy named Dr. Rosenwasser. He was the head surgeon for the Yankees arms and wrist, and he was also the head surgeon for the Mets. So he did my surgery, and then now the recovery's happening, therapy's happening, and they said, okay, well, let's do 2 days a week. And I said, well, can we do 5? And she's like, no, you can't do 5 days a week. It's not. I'm like, okay, well, can we do 4? She's like, how about we do 3? So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was doing physical therapy. That was like the worst pain ever. But I'm just sitting there like, I don't care. I gotta hurry up and get going because I had a D1 school that I was looking at me too. So it's like that was all in my mind was I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'll put my body through it. I don't care about the pain. I'll shut it all out just to make sure that I'm good. And I shouldn't have done it. Obviously, worst case hindsight, because I hurt my shoulder after that. But
Well, you hurt your shoulder because you were
I was
putting
just
too much.
afraid I was going to hurt my elbow. So it was just like, and also too, in the meantime of myself, like, because this was March 20th when it happened. So March 23rd is when I had surgery. So
What
between
year was
March,
this?
this was in 2008, 2008. because I came back. This is my sophomore year, so I redshirted that year, right? Yeah, that's what it is, 2008. So I redshirted that year, and then so I had to. I lost my train of thought. Fuck.
Well, you were saying that, I'm sorry, I interrupted
No,
about
you're
that.
good.
You were saying that you hurt your shoulder because you were worried about
That's right.
COVID.
So in the meantime, from March to like July, I was throwing lefty. So I'm sitting there in my sling saying like, okay, so worst case scenario, I can come back as a lefty. So I can throw like maybe 70, 75 lefty just because
Mhm.
I'm sitting there practicing my motion. So that's how insane I am. So I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get back. So my doctor said that I might not be at my normal self on my right arm. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to take the chance. So while I wait in my sling, I'm going to sit there and throw lefty.
Wow. It's freaking crazy, dude. So this, God, first of all, okay, so this is in 2008. So you were born in like 90.
I
God,
was born 88.
you were born in 88.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm 36 going on 82.
Well, I'm 51, dude. Look, trust me, just enjoy those
Oh,
30s.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every
Um,
moment of it.
so okay, so this is when, and then this is when you started the Chili's job, sometime around then.
Yes,
When
2008. And then I worked there for 4 years.
when did you know? Okay, it's just baseball's not going to happen. That must have
This was
been
right when I
really
broke my arm. I was just like, this is all right. So this sucks. So my whole career, I've been like, it's just like, oh, what are you going to do for this? I'm just going to be a baseball player. Oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it just shattering. It's like, oh shit, I gotta really focus in on school now,
yeah,
that
right.
I hate, you know. So, but I took my accounting classes. I wanted to become a stockbroker, and my father convinced me because during the 2008, 2007 housing crisis,
Yeah.
my dad's just like, you need more stability. And then, so I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll just do accounting. You know, I'm good at math. I'll take it from there and see what happens. And then, thank God I pushed through it. I mean, the accounting is that's what gets me into a lot of these business deals is because a lot of these people don't understand finance and just getting it
Mhm.
organized just gets me involved with deals and so now it's oh yeah then we own a baseball facility too so that's part of the ongoing baseball so it's never left.
Well, it's a good place to own one down there in Tampa. So where were you? So when you were in Pennsylvania, at this point, if I heard correctly, you'd gotten married, you got a kid,
Yep.
and you're in Pennsylvania. Partnership doesn't work out. But where in Pennsylvania were you?
I was in the Poconos.
Okay.
So it's like the northeast of Pennsylvania. Literally, it's like where I live, where I grew up in New York. I was on the border of Jersey and Pennsylvania and New York. And Connecticut wasn't that far either. It was like maybe an hour and a half. So I was literally in the middle of all the big states there.
Okay. Okay. I always ask because I've never had any attachment to Pennsylvania until my daughter decides a few years ago that she's going to go to Penn State, and so we've been going up there for a few years. I
It's
just always,
gorgeous up there, man.
yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. It's way out. There's nothing else around there, and it's
Right.
freaking way too far from Charlotte. But is what it is. She likes it there. It's a cool town. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a cool town. It's a cool vibe. It's a great school. All that stuff. So,
for sure.
so okay. When you, okay. So you've got this thing going on in Pennsylvania. This is so at this point you're married. You have one kid at this point. What year is this when you were like when you found the opportunity in Florida?
This was so when we bought the restaurant, it was May 20th. Oh, actually, we opened up May 29th of 2015.
Got it. Okay. So 15. All right. So
Yeah.
it's been 10 years. Okay. So how well how did you find it? Like so you obviously knew you wanted to do something, but how did you go from the Poconos to Tampa?
My business partner at the time, he moved to Brandon, which is not, it's like in the Tampa area
Yeah.
in
Right.
2015.
Yeah.
So I used to work with him in the Poconos and I didn't know how to make pizza. So I was just like kind of like that was the missing link for me. I knew how to do cooking. I just didn't know how to make pizza. So my business partner, I needed somebody in there that knew pizza. So my business partner um, said, "Yeah, let's do it." And he lived in Brandon, so I was originally looking in Boca because I wanted somewhere that's little more higher class and not have to worry about money and penny pitching and stuff like that. So, but then my broker found this place in Odessa. It was just in our price range. That's the only reason why. And we saw a couple BMWs and Mercedes in the parking lot, not realizing that there's this opens up the other thing. So there was this gentleman, I don't say his name, but one of my servers, this was in 2017, says to me, "Hey Sean, you need to talk to this couple." And I said, "Yeah, I'll get to them." He's like, "No, no, you need to talk to this couple now." So I went over there, talked to the couple, sitting down with them for like an hour, and amazing, genuine. And I still talk to him. He's like one of my mentors now. He used to own Outback, and
Oh,
he owned the exclusive rights in California. So he had at one point, I think 50 something of them. So he sold it three times. He sold the rights, he sold the operation, and he sold the land. So he's got a lot of money. And then he says to me, "Hey, when are you going to go up to New York to see your family?" And I was like, I mean, this is right around December. And I said, just one way, it was like $2,400. It was right around the Christmas, around Christmas. And he's like, "Well, why don't you come up with me?" I was like, what do you mean come up with you? Like on a freaking bus?" He's like, "No, you come on my 16 passenger."
oh,
And I'm like, "Bullshit." Like there's no way. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah. We'll go we'll leave on this day, come on this time, and here's my tail number, and just tell the front that this is your tail number, you're flying with me." And so we got there, gate opens, get on the runway. Gentleman says, "Hey, is everything going on the plane?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Throw me your keys." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "All right, you board up if you want." And like that was it. We're in the plane, we're in the air, we're going to Teterboro. It was unreal. So it's just like those opportunities down here, and that's why it's like you don't realize, especially in this area. I mean, David Wells lives right down the street. It's Quincy Black played for the Bucks. I'm actually doing stuff with Titus O'Neil next week. He's a WWE guy and he's a Bucks player, so I'm doing stuff with him on Saturday in his nonprofit. It's just the sky's the limit, and it's unreal. There's this gentleman named Mike Calta, and he owns his own radio station down here. He's number one radio station down here, and he knows literally every single person down here. I call him like he's one of the mayors. So during COVID, we messed up his food, and it wasn't a big deal. Like we forgot his wife's chicken, and they didn't clean the cutting board, and there was cannoli cream on his wife's salad. And he was like, "It's not a big deal. Can you just remake it and send it out?" So my GM at the time said, "Yeah, yeah, I'll remake." Knowing who he is, I'll remake all of his food. I'll make all your food, and I'll send it out. Oh, great, fantastic. He forgot about it.
oh no.
So like an hour and a half in, Mike's on a podcast with all these comedians, like Robert Kelly and all these other comedians that are there, and they're egging Mike on, like, "Hey, you're gonna let him get away with that? Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't let that restaurant get away with not sending you food." So now he's like losing his mind, calling my GM, calling him names, and then he puts on Twitter, "You have a better chance of eating good food out of a used kitty litter box than at Three Brothers Pizza."
Oh no.
And he's got over 100,000 followers, right? So
Oh no.
my phone's getting blown up from all of my customers who are friends with, like, who follow Mike, and and so I call Mike, we work things out, and I said, "Hey, let me just make it up." So I put all of his food in a kitty litter box when we meet up with him, and then I made him a cannoli salad. So I made him like all these cannolis on a bed of lettuce. And then since that day, we became close friends, and then that's how I met David Wells, through him.
That's freaking hilarious, dude. I love the way you handle that. That's awesome, man. All
I
right. Well,
shit my pants though.
I bet you did, but you handled it super well. There
Yeah,
you
for
go,
sure.
man. Well, you get it. I mean, being the dude with the ball on the mound with the game on the line, you understand pressure, and how
Absolutely.
to try to stay calm. And look, that dovetails into something that you mentioned initially, which I think is so important for people that want to get into the restaurant business. It is awesome in so many ways, especially if you love serving people and serving with a servant's heart, but it is so freaking hard. And any day, either a actual fire can happen or a metaphorical fire, that being one. The dude who's got 100,000 followers in a radio show bashes you, like that's a fire. So you're always having to put out these, hopefully always metaphorical, sometimes actual fires. And I think that a lot of people that want to get into the business, maybe they maybe they make good pizza. Cool. Awesome. Good for you. Make good pizza for your friends and family. If you want to be a restaurant owner, you got to understand every aspect of the economy because it all flows through. You've got to understand accounting. You got to be the guy or the gal who shows up at 3 o'clock in the morning when the freezer broke. You got people that you got to count on that you pay a lot of money to, like a GM who sometimes are so busy they forget, to remake the food. Like it is so freaking hard, man. And like I got to tell you, Sean, I started this podcast. I mean, I started interviewing restaurant owners and like we started Schedule Fly in '07, and by '09, I was interviewing our customers because I wanted to learn about them. And I would record the conversations. We'd put it on speakerphone. I had like a $35 microphone that attached to my USB, but I wanted to understand what it was like to own a restaurant and run a restaurant. And then we would like embed the audio files onto our blog. Like that's how we were, because there wasn't even such a thing as a podcast back then. But what I learned, so here's what I learned. When I went into this, I was thinking, I'm going to learn. I've got this great opportunity to learn from all these restaurant owners all over the country that are really good at what they do. And I'll learn all the tips and tricks and common threads that run through all of them. And then one day I want to start my own restaurant. Well, what I've learned is I've learned a lot of that stuff. And I just say, I don't want to start my own restaurant. I have massive, massive respect for you and your peers that do it because it's freaking hard. Like it's really hard. It's really rewarding if you get it right, and it can be amazing, but it's like 24/7, 365 for a lot of
Oh yeah.
people. And it just it just doesn't really end. And I feel like you have to have something in your DNA. I mean, you've got it. You hustle, you grind, you're like relentless. I feel like you kind of have to have that to make it in this industry.
Oh,
Otherwise, eat
1,000%.
you up and spit you out.
You mentioned a physical fire. So we had a fire in 2020, and we were down 31 months in my main store, in Odessa store.
In
And
2020 during COVID?
so during COVID, I was hitting record numbers. So
Oh,
we
because you had right
well, we were
pizza.
in Florida and we were in
Oh,
pizza.
yeah.
So I did this. We do school. We have a school lunch program, and because I can't say fucking no. So there was a school that was right next to us that asked, like, is there any way you can do like a school lunch program? So I said, sure. And then it ended up being 4 schools to where we were doing 200 to 300 meals a day with these schools. And so when COVID happened, everything got shut down. And a lot of the parents are like, I don't know what we're going to do. Like, how are we going to feed our kids? And so I just said, every single kid will get 2 free slices for 2 weeks. You don't need to show me anything. You don't need to buy anything. You just come in and bring your kid and you get 2 free slices. And you can come every single day. Doesn't matter. You have till 3 o'clock. So I hit national news. So I had people in California, Seattle, Texas. I had two huge companies that are in Tampa that kept buying these pizzas. So this whole program went from 2 weeks to a month and a half.
Mm.
And it was, the whole pay forward, when you go to the drive through and you're like, I always wonder if
Hmm.
that person ever, or the person just took it and said, thank you, and just dipped. In this case, we saw everything in front of us on the whole pay it forward. So we were hiring. So I had these executive chefs that came in because they were getting shut down, and they were teaching me they taught me how to make raviolis and fresh pasta. So that's what got us. Now we're not even a typical pizzeria. We're at typical pizzeria pricing, but we make all the raviolis, we make all the pasta for the lasagna, we make all the manicottis. So it's like all the eggplant meatballs are grass fed, local ranch. So it's like we try doing everything fresh. And I've gotten very fortunate to where during COVID, we learned so much from these chefs that it allowed us to put us ahead everyone else. So then 4th of July happened. And again, like we're hitting every week is just going through the roof. And my brother did a prank on me because we just bought a restaurant in Palm Harbor. So we bought a restaurant right before COVID, and the sales weren't as great as the Odessa store. And then, so I said to him, I said, the restaurant's on fire. And he's like, what do you mean the restaurant's on fire? You're fucking with me. And I'm like, outside right now. And then you hear all the fire trucks come in. We had two stations come, and we were just in the middle of the rush. Like we had a screen and a half of tickets. Like we were getting geared up, and it was just a bottle rocket that did it. We had a shed that was outside.
Bottle rocket?
We had a shed that was outside, and with the hurricanes and everything else, I had everything that was flammable in that shed. So I had like wood from Hurricane Irma. I had files. I had propane from catering, and then I had gasoline for our pressure washer. So like everything that was flammable that was basically in that shed, and the shed door was open maybe a millimeter, and two bottle rockets an ex-employee shot off. It was 4th of July, so like you don't think of anything bad happening, especially with a bottle rocket, and everything's on camera, and one bottle rocket went right in between the door that was open. And as my employee he looks left, and then he looks right. The fire's there because now at that time I think the door opened up or something like that. So he looks right. As he's looking right, the fire goes out, and then he goes on his break. And then 10 minutes later, it ignited, and I'm in the restaurant, and I'm like, what the hell is that fucking smell? Like looking through all the ovens, we have four pizza ovens, and then we have two cook oven lines. So I'm looking through, I'm thinking like we're burning garlic knots. And meantime, the smoke is pouring in. So like I don't even see the smoke. I'm just looking, trying to find out where the fuck this smoke is coming from. And then my GM is like, the shed is on fire. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean the shed's on fire? And I look on the back door. It is bright orange. The door is hot as anything. So I'm like, oh, let's just get the hose, and then we'll just hose it down. It's not a big not. Meanwhile, there's fucking fire extinguishers everywhere. So my thought was like, we'll just get the hose. And then all of a sudden, we started a detailing business. So the detailing business had the hose. So we had no hose. And now I'm thinking the only way this fire is coming in is through that crack on that back door. So I'm throwing cold water, because I'm an idiot, throwing cold water in the back door, just splashing it. And everything's on camera. And then again, the smoke is pouring. And then I'm just wandering around the restaurant like, oh my fucking God. Like there's again, like going back to like me breaking my arm, right? There's no way that this can happen. There's no fucking way. And then the cop comes in and says, you guys gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you guys doing? So I look at my GM like, Sam, we gotta get out of here. And meanwhile, Sam is so focused. Sam's shutting everything off, turning pilots off, grabbing all of his things, grabbing the cash. Like he is so aware, and I'm just wandering. I left my wallet in there, I left my phone, I left my book bag, I left everything in that restaurant. I just literally just walked outside, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to call my insurance. I got to call I can't call anybody. So like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And that's the thing, like too, like a lot of people don't understand. It's just like parenting. There's no rule book. There's no like, if this happens, you got to do this. If this happens, you got to do this, So it's just like a lot of people don't understand even insurance. Like I got so lucky, and that's why I say everything happens for a reason, and you keep doing the right thing, and things will play out. So I signed 2 months earlier. I signed a new insurance, and my insurance guy said, hey, you should do business income, business interruption. And I'm like, sure. Okay, cool. He goes, it's only an extra like $400. Like, just do it. So I said, fuck it, let's do it. So I had a standard policy of 100 grand for my liability. And then I had business income, business interruption. So again, leading right before COVID, I was hitting record numbers. So when I presented my financials to the insurance company, they said they've never seen a restaurant this profitable before. So they based my business income, business interruption on that profit. So I was getting like 40 something thousand a month for 13 months. Now that covered payroll, so now like, okay, so I had to figure out insurance. The insurance company saying, leave everything inside because we gotta count for everything. So I also have a food insurance policy that's in the liability, which was complete horseshit. And that's why I hate insurance companies. They're a bunch of scumbags, and they just want you to steal your money. That's just that. Like, if that's the advice to give everybody, like, yeah, you need insurance, but they'll just sit there and screw you over, dude. Like, that's just the reality of it, man. And so it's like, I listened to the insurance company. I kept everything in there, waiting for them for a month inside the restaurant. So I could have taken some of the the wine, the beer, the food. I mean, I had over like maybe $15,000, $20,000 in just food, beer, and wine. I could have taken half that stuff and brought it to my little restaurant. But they were just like, no, 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 we got to account for everything. They didn't get me for any of that. So I had to write it off. And then they just gave me my flat 100,000, and then that was it. If I didn't have the business income, business interruption, I would have been begging for money or out of business. So it's
Wow.
just knowing your insurance and the just in case ordeal. That's what saved my ass. I mean, it's just we got really lucky because the whole project was 375 to redo it. And that's not including what I paid full rent for 31 months because my landlord, he passed away, but his name is Dick. So you can kind of put two and two together on how this man was. And I was worried about, and that goes into the next thing. Like I was worried about lawsuits, and because yes, this technically could have been my fault because there's maybe negligence involved or anything like that. So I had to do a deposition. We were getting sued. So the constant roller coaster, and like not many people, I guess, in this industry would be able to, I guess, attest to or be able to experience. And I've literally experienced almost all of it. Like, but it's just like, yeah, you're right. It's part of my DNA. I'm built for this, and I'm in this such great headspace. I'm taking care of my body, and I think that's the biggest thing. And my family is so supportive. My wife is so supportive. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this without her. And she keeps uh shaking her head like, what are you getting yourself into now? And we're about to buy a CPA firm now, so that's like getting into that grind because I have an opportunity there. So it's just like it's a constant, never ending. And my wife kind of beating me up or trying to beat me up because I'm an idiot and I keep saying yes to it.
Oh my gosh,
And we
man.
sell Christmas trees. So we sell Christmas
And
trees. We
you
have
saw Christmas trees in
Yeah,
town.
all right. So it's so cool. So it's like it's a name that I have to take credit for and I have to tell you. So it's Three Brothers Pizza, right? And then we have
Yeah.
Tree Brothers Christmas.
That's
It's
awesome.
fucking awesome, dude. It's one of the best experiences ever. I got a good crew, and it's when you're selling out, it's like it's so
Where,
contagious. It's amazing.
where do you get your trees from? North, you
North,
get them from North Carolina?
North, yeah, yeah. I used to get them from Quebec, and it was way too much money on the shipping. I mean, it cost me 22 grand just to get it down here for shipping. So
Yeah.
we and that's the thing too, like the Christmas tree industry, a lot of people don't know this. It's a Christmas tree mafia. They will not return your phone call because they're so busy. And
Wow.
I had to get my business partner involved because he saw Christmas trees in Jersey, and that's what got me in with the grower or the farmer. And then
Where's
now
the farm?
it's in Greensboro.
Oh yeah, dude. I live in Charlotte. I live in Waxhaw. I live on a little farm in Waxhaw, which is just south of Charlotte. Greensboro is like 2 hours from me.
Oh no, not Greensboro. I'm sorry. Westchester, West Jefferson, West Jefferson,
West Jefferson. I was going to say Greensboro
not
would be
Greensboro. I
West
don't know why
Jefferson's
where
up in the
Greensboro came
mountains.
up from. Yeah, it's West
Yeah, okay.
Jefferson.
That would make sense. Okay. Yeah. Yep. West Jefferson. Nice. All right. So,
Going on tangents here.
oh, dude, this is the life of an entrepreneur, man. I
Yes,
freaking love it.
sir.
Um, you're diversified and in a lot of ways. I want to talk to you about the accounting business here in a minute, but tell me about Three Brothers Pizza. So you, if I remember correctly, you told me at the top of this, you had like, you had to, you got to buy the business for like 20 grand.
Twenty
Did
thousand
you use like
dollars.
credit card debt to buy this thing?
No, so all right. So my parents said, "We'll loan you 100 grand,"
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
and so my father, my father being, I guess, a realist, he saw the percentage of successful restaurants. So he's like, "Okay,
Right.
so 8% make it after 5 years. I'm not getting my money back." It was nice knowing you, kind of ordeal. And my mom just like, yeah, Sean's relentless, so he's gonna pay us back. So yeah, I paid them back in 3.5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so and without them, I wouldn't be anywhere, to be honest. I mean, they're amazing, amazing people. And my mom, up until recently, she was still doing my payroll, still doing my insurance, and she's a rock star. She's an absolute rock star. So I was very fortunate to be surrounded by people. I was in business my whole life. I mean, when I was 9 years old, when I stayed home from school, the computers weren't around. So
Right.
my father would be like, here's a list of stocks. I need you to call me and give me the price on what it goes up or down and give me the final price. And if I give you the symbol, you have to tell me what company it's for. And if I give you the company, you got to tell me the symbol. So this piece of shit would go ahead because I don't know if you know the stock tickers. The stock tickers go in alphabetical order. So he would
Yeah.
give me like Alcoa, which would be like AA or something like that, and then this piece of shit will give me Exxon Mobil, and it's XOM. So I would have to sit there in front of the TV and wait for this ticker to go all the way to X, just because he wanted to see what the price is, and he probably got the price anyways in the city. And I would sit there and call him 212-612-8846. That was his number in 1999.
Wow.
And I would sit there and be like, "Hey, Dad, Central Hudson is up $2.50, and it's at this price, and this, Altria is at this price, and all this other stuff." So it's the whole business side of things has been ingrained into me since I was very little.
So he was okay. So yeah. Well, gosh, so he's on Wall Street. He got
He was a manager, so he managed marginal accounts. And when and this is the difference between that generation and this one is he started as a mail boy, as he says. He was
right.
riding his bicycle and riding his bike up and down New York City with stock certificates because you just bought a stock, and that's how he started as a broker. Like that's how he started his career as a broker. He started from the very bottom.
What do you mean that's the difference between?
I think a lot of people now they see success and it's like everything is at your doorstep at this point. So the grind and the work is not really realistic now. You don't really have to start at the very bottom of anything. You can really take off from a viral video and then that's it. Your career's taken off. Or the whole starting from the bottom system is, especially with these kids generation, it's not expected anymore. It's not part of their DNA. It's kind of, I want to start, like, for example, I have these kids that are want to be dishwashers. They want to get paid $25 an hour. And as a dishwasher, and it's like, well, this is your first job. He goes, yeah. And I'm like, man, things are just so different. Like when I was growing up, my father would say, you say yes to everything and appreciate it and you learn. Who cares about the money?
Well, the difference is what people don't understand, and I don't want to get it. I personally, I'm just social media is. I'm sure I know it has some upsides, but these kids and listen. I have three. Right, I've got a 21-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old son and a 15-year-old son, and they're so surrounded and so immersed and so inundated with like all this stuff and all this success and
Yep.
all these people like Jake Paul who comes out of nowhere or Mr. Beast. It's like, oh, all you got to do is make a bunch of it. But man, I got to tell you, and I'm going to guess you probably agree with this in a weird way. The the joy and the beauty of success is actually in the work. It's
Oh,
in the
1,000%.
grind. It's in the sleepless nights. It's in the anxious moments. It's in like I got to jam another 15-hour day into but that's what makes any financial success or that you have is like the byproduct of all that. To me, it's not the end game. It's just what happens if you do those things. And so I think anybody that if you were to reward them with, it's like winning the lottery, right? Like if you just won the lottery, you're like, oh, if you win the lottery, you'll be happy. And look, do you have any freaking lottery winners like wind up with like broke again or miserable lives or like all that stuff because you didn't actually do the stuff that got you there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what makes it rewarding. I mean, most people, you're probably the same. You're not doing it so you can like have cool stuff for you. You're doing it because you love the grind. You want to provide for your wife and your kids. You want to provide for an opportunity for teammates that you hire to grow and learn. You want to do something cool for your community. And like you've done, with the food program during COVID and all the other, like I try to tell my kid, it's just so hard to get this into their brains. Like you don't even want to ask, like your dad said, like, don't go ask for that. Like, go earn that stuff. You will be much happier if you
Exactly.
earn it than if you're given it.
Everything just goes back to monetary now. It's just there's no way of.
Easy come, easy go. Your dad lived
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
freaking Wall Street collapse, financial crisis, the housing crisis. Like
Yeah.
it, these things. they happen and they're going to keep happening like they do. So, at least understand like how to do the work to get there. So you have some sense of pride, even if, the money is gone one day or what. I don't know. It's a weird
Yeah,
thing. So that leads me to the question, which I'm so fascinated with now. And I feel frankly lucky that we're not in this situation is like hiring young people to work in restaurants and the expectations they have now. What a challenge that must be.
it's tough. Yeah. I think if you keep building the culture, that's what we're realizing now more and more is culture, you know. So it's like if you have everybody that's wanting to be there, um
Mm.
and who give a shit about their job, it's very contagious. And if you have the opposite side, that's also very contagious. So it's like I'm at the point now where I don't care if you're the best pizza guy on the face of this earth. If you have a shitty attitude, there's the door. I have no issues with it anymore. And I,
Boom.
I would rather have a kid. Listen, we were always underdogs, and my father always picked the good attitude kids for our baseball team. He didn't give a shit about the ego. He didn't give a shit about how good you are. If you had a good attitude and you're a team player, you're in. And we won. That's how we kept winning. Did we win right away? No, we didn't win right away. But did we win at the end? Oh yeah, we did because we came together, and that's where I'm really focusing in on now is culture, and that's where I wasn't before. Before it was more of a how do I get shit off my plate, and okay, I got this pizza guy that's 30 years experience. He'll take this off my plate, but the guy's an asshole, and it's just and who wants to work for it with them, you know? So up until recently, that's been our shift. And that's been my shift. It's just been I don't give a shit who you are. Let's hire slow, fire fast. That's where I'm at. So if you have a shitty attitude, I wish you the best of luck. We're good. You know, let's just keep moving forward and get the right people in here, and that's what we're doing. So is it
Fire.
good? Is it going to take me longer? Yeah, it's going to take me longer just because these they don't have much experience. But I would rather train now than deal with the attitude and the toxicity because we don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for that shit.
I remember, gosh, it was probably 2009. There's a guy out in Gilbert, Arizona named Joe Johnston, and I interviewed him, and I'll never forget. This is in 2009, right? We're talking 16 years ago, and this kind of stuff was already you're starting to see a little bit of shift in the expectations of the workforce and all that stuff. And he had this like really awesome breakfast and lunch place, badass like little coffee bar within the restaurant. And he said, Will, I it's literally what you just said, dude. He's like, I don't care if you are if you won the world's best barista competition.
Right.
If you love coffee, a thing, but you don't love people and serving people, you're not working here.
Exactly.
Like you are not, you have to, and that was his whole, they just talk about serving with a servant's heart. Like you have to love people. I can
Right.
teach you to make coffee, can't teach you to love people. That's a
Exactly.
big deal. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I think that's what we're missing just as a whole as a community. I mean, we're missing the culture again, and you get so wrapped up in the monetary side of things just because everything's so expensive. I mean, we see it right now, like our sales are down, we're struggling a little bit, but it's we got to keep going and keep building and keep making sure that everyone's doing the right thing, and having the staff that are built into that culture, it makes everything a little bit easier than when things go crazy, everyone's still like, okay, well, we're still focused. Whereas when you have the toxicity, now the finger pointing continues to happen. It's just too much, especially when you have so much shit going on. It's just,
Yeah.
it's not worth the energy anymore. So it's just like, okay, let's just move on. We're good. We're good. I wish you luck, brother.
Um, do you know who Jocko Willink is?
No,
Oh, dude.
I'm so bad with names too. So it's like, if you gave me a picture and then it's like, oh, okay, I may know him, but I'm not very good with last names and stuff like that. So
All right.
who's he?
You got something to write with?
Yeah.
write down Jocko, Jocko.
Oh
Right?
yeah, Jocko. Yeah, yeah. He's the yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
The
Jocko.
guy that says that just do it. That guy?
That guy. And there's a if you look up Jocko Good on
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube,
yeah, 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 yeah. If
you
everything's
get that
going wrong, good.
good. Yes,
Yeah,
there it
he's the
is,
man,
man.
dude. He's the absolute man. Yeah, that's the perfect. Honestly, that is perfect. That's exactly what I'm doing. And it's just like, okay, bring it on. This is yeah, let's do it. Good. Yeah.
Good.
That's so I get the goosebumps watching it.
I do too, and I have it bookmarked. And dude, this is how much I like that video. Check this out. So, and I mean, I have my kids watch it all the time, and I brought it up on this. People that listen to this podcast, they're like, "Yep, here he goes again, talking about Josh." Yeah, I bring it up all the time, but I think it's such a great mentality, and that little 3 minute speech on YouTube is like the best 3 minutes on YouTube. So I literally use a flip phone.
You're
I
the
don't have an
best, dude. Oh my God, you're awesome.
and
Wait, so you text on that?
yep, I do.
That's
And
freaking awesome.
it takes a little while, but I do it. But it has a web browser on it. Like it literally has it has a web browser, which I don't use. Although I have like a few things bookmarked so that I can just go to like click it and it'll pull it up. And out of those, it's like 4 pages. But one of them is Jocko's speech, his little
That's
good.
awesome.
And I click it once or twice a month. I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, I need some Jocko right now. Like when something's, and I'm like, yep, got it. Good. Yeah,
That's so awesome.
love that stuff.
That's amazing, dude. That's absolutely amazing.
Well, it's such an important mentality. I had this, I had this conversation with my daughter the other day. Something went awry and, just like handling it, like just this sucks. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Yes, it sucks. Like, but what are we going to do about it? Are we going to
Yeah.
just bitch and moan, or are we going to say, what are we going to say? And she goes, I know, good. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, good.
Yeah,
Let's turn this
absolutely.
into an opportunity. All right, so you've got 3 locations of your pizza place, but you've got a bagel place
We
as
got
well.
two, so we converted the third store to bagels
Ah,
because
okay,
we were trying to find a buyer last year. We bought our business partner out last year,
okay.
and my brother and I were doing 6 days a week, and I'm not doing 6 days a week anymore. So we closed the third store down, and we were trying to find a buyer, and I couldn't fucking find a buyer. The landlord kind of screwed us over because they took their time with their due diligence on the potential buyer that we had, and then there was conflict of interest with another uh, restaurant that was on in the plaza, so they said no. And at that time, we just couldn't find a buyer. So I hit up my buddy that was in Connecticut that I played baseball with, and I said, "Yo, let's do bagels down in Tampa." And he goes, "I'm in." And he booked his flight to do tests, and he was here like I don't know what it was, like a few weeks later. Tested the bagels out, and I'm like, "Oh shit, these things are fucking good." And so I was like, "Hey, if I don't find a buyer, then let's do it." And I'm lowering this price of this restaurant just to try to dump it, and I couldn't fucking nobody wanted it. And the second I said yes to the bagels, I had 9 offers.
Really?
Yep. So I said, well, I already said yes. So
Is it your is it a franchise or is it your
no, it's our own.
okay?
Yeah.
It's dude, I literally just I recorded a podcast yesterday. I haven't even posted it yet with these dudes up in Toledo. They have it's called Berry Bagels. And they're out in like they're in like Ohio and Kentucky and Indiana, but they're like franchising and all this kind of stuff. And I was talking to them about like what is a good bagel and how do you make a good bagel and all this kind of stuff. And they were saying like theirs are a little softer than like what you might get in New York because they're in Ohio and people there don't always like it maybe as crispy as they might like it in New York, all this kind of stuff. But I like so
It's a
how
science, man. It's a science.
I mean it sounded
I
like
hate
it.
it. I hate it just because I hate baking and there's just you have to wait. It's like
Yeah.
it's and then you have to have down here in Florida, as you know, the humidity. Humidity is so bad here. So
Mhm.
it's like you have to with bread, you have to really consider humidity. You have to consider the yeast content. You have to consider the hydration. So my business part, I call him a scientist. I literally call him a scientist because he
I'd
literally
appreciate that.
records every day his formula and he adjusts it as he keeps going until we get open. and his bagels are just getting better and better. And then it's easier, honestly, like the way I do consulting too. So I do like I help other either restaurants or any businesses regardless. And a lot of what I've noticed is if you have a destination spot, and when I say destination, I it doesn't have to mean physically. If you have a spot like let's just say it's e-commerce and people are coming to you, that's what I consider a destination. And if you can piggyback off of that destination, you can make other businesses successful. Is it going to take you some time? Sure. But that's essentially what I'm doing down here. And so I use my pizzerias and the community driven marketing tools that I have there to push the bagels. And it's just, I mean, everything. It's just, it's successful. It makes our lives a lot easier than starting from scratch, like when I started in the very beginning. It's knocking on doors. I don't really have to knock on. I mean, I still do. I mean, we still knock on doors. I still, you like food? Yes, let's do it. I mean, that's never going to stop. But it makes our lives easier having a destination and be able to go ahead and utilize that market and do text messages and do emails and do Facebook and collabs and stuff like that. So it's making the bagel scene a lot easier than me just starting from scratch.
Heck yeah, man. It's funny you said that. Um, I've been using this phrase lately about our business, about Schedulefly. And I always say, we're not piloting a rocket ship, we're building, or excuse me, we're hosting a destination.
Yep.
Most restaurant tech companies, it's about throw tons of VC money at it, scale, 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 grow as fast as possible, exit. And that's why, they have these, people talk about like rocket ship growth and all this kind of stuff. And I'm always like, where is the rocket ship going? And who gets to be on the rocket ship and who gets left behind? And like, what happens when it gets there? Like, I've just never had that, we're not a VC company, right? Like we could have gotten tens of millions of dollars when money was free over the last decade. No freaking way. Because I know what comes with that.
Yep.
Whereas I'd rather host a destination. So we use our scheduling software platform and we have 5,000 restaurants on that. And then we go use that to connect with people to create a podcast and share stories. And we're continuing to work towards finding ways to bind this community of Schedulefly users together. Like we're working on something I call Fly Club, which is a like user generated contained content forum, right? So like when you're in Schedulefly and you click the Fly Club tab, you're now connected to all 5,000 restaurants across our footprint and like a Reddit page, right? Like, hey, I've got this problem. Who can help me solve this? And you're in Florida and you're like, oh, this dude up in freaking Oklahoma has a problem. I know how to solve it. Hey man, I can help you with that, right?
It's amazing. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's the
like
thing too. Like we're open books. So it's, I know like if you go back 20 years ago or 30 years ago, the pizza game was very secretive. Like you can't talk about your recipes. You can't talk about the success. Like now the way I go about it is this is a dying breed, and
mhm.
especially in the pizza game. And I'm an open book, dude. Ask me any question you want. I'm here to help you. Especially the insurance game. Just my experience with the fire. I mean, we were so like I was so alone. Like who do I call for? Like, hey, have you gotten a fire at your restaurant? Like, what do you do? It's like I had to figure it out, and we had to come together with it. So it's just that experience alone. If anybody experiences it, like I'm here to help, and like that's where our end of the game is. It's just whatever you need, I got you. Because if you need recipes, I got you recipes. I don't give a shit. I want you to be successful, and I want to shut down these big, huge corporations. Not shut down, but like I just feel like that's the trend that us independent owners now are just like it's just too much, and it's just like I don't want to do it anymore. Let's just go ahead. The institution just take over, and I think that's where like you come in. It's rare to see like your mindset with your business, And you're with your tactic, it's like I liked your pitch. So your pitch is not forceful, in your face sales rep. I can sell you, I can save you money, and I can do this and do that for you. Promise me the world, and then there's no delivery, or promise me the world, and you go back on your contract or whatever it is. And your approach, it's so inviting to where now it's like I will, like, I'm adding you to my network, and anybody who needs fucking help, I mean, you're doing it the right way. I want to help you out. You're a small business, and yeah, are you bigger than a lot of other? Yeah, sure, okay, cool. But your your approach on it, and your guys' approach, it's not in your face. Let me try to sell you everything. It's, hey, when you're ready, I'm here. And it's not, and that's it's unheard of now because everyone's so desperate. And that's what it sounds like with you. You guys are not desperate. You guys are there to help out, and that's what your approach is, and that's what makes you guys genuine. And that's what I want to keep adding to my network. And those people who are going to deliver, who are going to answer the phone, who has their fucking cell phone number on your website, like, what are you doing? You know, but like that's me. Like here, like everyone has my phone number.
Yeah.
And it just, yeah, does it get crazy at times? Absolutely, but I'm transparent, man. I'm here to help. So it's just, and I think that's where a lot of people trust, and I think that's where it comes down to you. Is like, just me knowing you this hour that we've been on here. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy's legit. So, what do you need? I'll help you out too. you know?
Well, yeah, I don't know any other. I just don't. I don't understand any other way of doing it. I just, there's. I'm not saying that our way is the right way to do things, but it's the only way I know and the only way I feel comfortable and can sleep at night and be proud of what we're doing, and look at my family in the eyes and say, whatever happens, we've always, we do things the right way, right? Like we treat people the way we'd want to be treated, and just basic stuff, right? Like we
Yeah, but it's
what we
basic
say we're
to
going to
us.
do, and
You
it's
know,
well, it's
that's
funny
what's
because
crazy.
the bar is so absurdly low now, um, and I say that is unfortunately the bar is really low, but fortunately the bar is really low. Unfortunately, it's really low because we experience it in our lives constantly. But fortunately for dudes like you and me,
Exactly.
it's really low. So cool. Nail the basics every day.
Yep.
Just nail the basics and you will blow people away. I mean, like, how is it people are literally blown away, Sean, that they send us an email and they get a quick response, or they call and I answer, or they leave a voicemail and I call them right back. Like they're like freaking blown away with that. They don't
Right.
even like. They're just like, this is absurd. Like nobody does this. I'm like, why wouldn't you do that? Like
I know.
it's like the most basic thing. Like, but
It's
yeah,
it's that connection that people are constantly seeking, and but they don't know. Like they don't know about it anymore. I don't know. That's why, like, uh, my network, it just keeps growing, and I just keep doing this person to person contact. I talk to them, ask them questions, and get to know them, and then all of a sudden I'm getting invited over for the Christmas party. It's just weird, and I think that's where, unfortunately, this technology is going towards. I'm hoping that the kids and start to learn that connecting over the phone is not everything, and
yeah,
doing this person to person and getting to know people is what we're all about. We're all about that culture, and I think it's just so easy to get sucked into the technology way, and then life is just flashing before you know it. So that's
very
what.
much is very
So
much.
I don't
Yep.
know, man. It's a tough world out there, but hey, I'm in it. Let's do it. you know?
Can't change that. All we can do is figure out how we're gonna, navigate it effectively. And so uh, so we're gonna get to meet. I'm gonna eat pizza at your place because I've actually got to come to Tampa sometime in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a dude there. What point of sale do y'all use?
I just switched over to food tech.
Okay. What'd you switch from?
Revel.
Rebel. Okay. Oh, Revel got bought by Shift 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that's the other thing. So we did so much for Revel. My brother is very tech savvy, and he's a problem solver. He's like my mom when it comes to the tech field, and he's done so much for Revel that is just that's where it goes down to corporations are there just for one thing and one thing only is to make them and their shareholders money. And when they got bought out, because we have our own credit card processing company, so
Yeah.
um, I'm just trying to bypass the third party. So that's one of them. And the I don't know if you know this, but credit card processing is like it's not a scam, but people take advantage so quickly because it's so easy to keep on adding fees to make money. And the third, and it just keeps growing from there. And it's just contracts are contracts. And that's where you can just live by it. And sorry, I don't need to talk to you ever again because it's so hands off of a business that once you sign up, it's like you're good forever. And if you have a problem, just call the 1-800 number.
Hmm.
So when Revel got bought out, we heard things of they're going to start increasing, and that's exactly what they did. They went from like I think it went from like 1,100 to 1,400 a month just at one store, and
All right,
there's
so
no
$300 a month
extra.
right away times
Yep,
12 months. That's $3,600 a year
just at
times.
one store.
Yeah, and I always look at stuff. I tell my kids, I'm like, don't look at don't look like, I know Netflix just went up by whatever. Don't look at it by a month. Yeah, it's only a few bucks a month. I was
Right.
like, but you're going to use this forever. So the way you calculate this is you go, how much per month times 12 months?
Yeah,
That's 1 year. Now multiply that by five. That
exactly.
whatever. So you just went $300 a month times 12 is $3,600 times 5 years is
Almost 20
almost
grand.
almost 20 grand, 18 grand or whatever.
Just like that. And there
That's
was a
I look
blink of
at
an
that.
eye. That's
And that's
that's
how
just
they
that's just
calculate
today. That's just today. So they can increase it 6 months from now
it, which they
because
will.
which they
Right.
will because it's a venture capitalist now. So it's not like a oh no, it was a venture capitalist now shift four. I don't know. It's something like that. They're probably going to sell that division. That's probably what they're going to do. They're trying to get as much profit as they can, and they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit
Well,
on what they do to you, and they don't care. Contracts are contracts, and they bled us out for another. We were trying to get out of the contract, and the delay and the bullshit that we had to go through week after week. Now we're corresponding through email. We can't correspond through phone numbers anymore. And now the emails are like, we'll send an email out today, and then next week they'll respond. And then the next week they'll respond. It's all a fucking tactic. They're $1 billion company. They know what the hell they're doing. You're telling me that you being so busy, Will, you don't answer your email the next day? Like, come on, man. Like, they're doing that just to delay the project and just so they can get more money out of us. And that's just, I'm like, you know what? Fuck all you people. And I don't want to deal with any more big corporations. And if I can help out the little guy or help out a small business owner and I got to pay a little bit more, so be it. That's where I'm at right now. I'm about building relationships. I'm out to build monopoly companies, and the monopoly only works for them. It doesn't
yep.
work for me, and they can dictate the price. And you're telling me that Visa, Mastercard, Amex, and Discover are not a monopoly? Then I don't know what it is, because you can't go in there and open up another business without them breathing down your neck and shutting your business down. That's to me is considered a monopoly. But it only works for those who make money, and you just got to be a little fish and squeeze that lemon out, right? So, and in the meantime, I'm just trying to support local as much as I can because it's just not. I'm done with the big corporations. You got me fired up now.
Dude, I love it, man. I love it. Well, this is we share that mentality, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
like I love supporting. I'm so grateful that the overwhelming majority of our customers, like we don't have any chain. We just, I mean, our biggest customer is like a restaurant group, that's got a bunch of locations or something. That I think that independent restaurants and small mom and pop businesses are the lifeblood of our economy, and they're the lifeblood of any great community. The money you spend in an independent restaurant, it stays in the community. It goes right back into your community. And when you think about, I always say, like, you can't, like, if you tell me this is a cool city or town, pick one, doesn't matter where. Like, that place is awesome. Okay, why is it awesome? you can't get through like three or four reasons why some city or town is awesome without one of those being all these cool restaurants and bars and brewery, like independent places, like
Right.
it's
Not
the
Burger
local
King,
culture.
Wendy's, McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like
But you're never gonna go, oh, because I got so many freaking, like, like drive through
Waffle
McDonald's.
House is
Like,
great, you know.
no, no. It's like, man, all these cool people doing cool shit. So, that's I believe that wholeheartedly. And I gotta say something because I couldn't believe you brought up pay it forward earlier. So I'm like obsessed with that concept. And if you Sean, if you go to, I have a Substack that I write for Schedulefly. It's called schedulefly.substack.com. And I wrote a post maybe 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, about pay it forward and how I want to help usher in a pay it forward revolution. And it was inspired by, and just so you like, for whatever it's worth, this is really exciting to me. This is such a positive thing. That post has gotten 10 times as many views as any other post I've put on there. 10 times. Um, and I got inspired years ago. I was in a coffee shop in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they had a big chalkboard said pay it forward, and it was right next to the register. And you could give them money, like let's say you put $5 into their pay it forward kitty, and you would write the amount, $5, and you would write who got to use that. And you could write anybody, or you could write on duty cop, or somebody named John, or whatever you
That's so
wanted to
cool.
write. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, so I'm going to give you this and I get it right. And she's like, yeah. So I do that. And then I go sit and like, I wrote like, I think I wrote like, I think I wrote anybody. And I was like, listen, I'm going to go sit and have my coffee. Don't acknowledge me, but like somebody that comes in here in the next few minutes, will you nudge them to like take that coffee and like cross it off the board and we'll see what happens. So she did. The person was like, oh, this is cool. So then they take it, but then they put money back in, like
That's amazing.
it was really cool. And I was like so obsessed with it. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I've always wanted to do something about it. It's been on my mind for like 6 years now. And I finally was like, the only way I'm going to actually do this is to write a blog post about it, about what I want to accomplish, and put it in the public domain and sign my name to it because now it's not in my head anymore. It's out there. And I, I like, I'm like completely obsessed with like, how do we get, because people want to pay it forward. And when they get reminded to do it, they do it like that. But like, you just kind of forget to do that. Right. But we're prompted all the time with like, just like yesterday, you know, I go to the grocery store and I'm checking out and they're like, do you want to round up for, whatever the charity was, which is cool. And I think that's great. But like a lot of times I don't even know what the freaking charity is and like how much of the money actually goes to the people they help or to so I would love to have like prompts and nudge, like a way to nudge people at a coffee shop or at a brewery or to, a pizzeria or whatever. Like, here's our pay it forward board or, whatever it is, like, and just kind of foster that because we need more of that. Like, we need more people stopping and thinking, like, oh, hell yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm in. I want to pay it forward for somebody else. Like,
Right.
people will do that. They just need that
A
little
thousand percent.
reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all about convenience now. So it's just like if you make it convenient for them to do it, they'll do it. I mean, it's proven so many times with us. I mean, just like the whole pizza side, the pizza slices, we also did hospitals, and during COVID, it was we would do every Monday, and then all of a sudden the next person said, "Hey, I got Tuesday. Hey, I got Wednesday. Hey, I got Thursday," and then that ended up being a month. And when we feed, like we're in the middle of feeding all of Tampa PD, so every Thursday, next week is our last Thursday, but we feed the police officers, we feed all the firefighters, and I can't tell you how many times people are like, "Hey, when you're doing that next, I got that one." So it's just
Yep.
like if you provide that platform, which is what you're saying, it's going to make it super convenient for the customer to be involved with that culture and and then that's how you're creating that community vibe, which is what we have in Tampa. And that's where I think a lot of the success comes from. So if you're if you're having a difficult time when it comes to marketing, I've noticed that the biggest and easiest draw is getting your community involved, especially with tragedy, and bringing people together goes such a long way. And you continue to do that, then and obviously you have good food and all that stuff. That's kind of like the basics at this point. It makes your life as a business owner like fulfilling, and it's just I mean, dude, we probably I don't even know, hundreds of thousands of dollars we given away for food wise, and continue to do that. And a lot of the times I don't even have time to post it. Like I haven't posted any of the Tampa PD stuff. I did the first one, but we've been going there every week. And with the firefighters, there's 56 stations in Hillsborough County. And we did every single one of them, I think, 3 times. So it's just, and then it's just for me, the out of thinking marketing is what I try to do. And I try to feed everybody. And that's the easiest and the cheapest way that I can think of, rather than doing the monetary roundup for $1. Like, first of all, now I'm questioning the fact that, okay, Red Cross, the CEO is making $11 million. I'm donating to this schmuck. Like, nah, I'm good, bro. So it's
Yeah.
it's those bigger. I'm not saying every single nonprofit it's like that, but I'm saying is when you get that big, the money keeps coming in. Sometimes the CEOs and other people who are part of the board take advantage of those opportunities, and instead of going back to the cause and when you first started, that's the question you need to ask them is, are you doing the same thing when you first started? Like what you're doing I mean, you're a for-profit business, but that's irrelevant. But what I'm saying is, like, your values are still the same. You haven't changed. You could have easily taken the money. You could have easily have cashed in and screwed everyone else over and sold to somebody and made your millions. And then you would have called it quits and be like, I'm done. But yet you're still following your true self. And I think that's what I'm doing. I'm not taking on any investors. I don't want them. It's like all they care about is the money and how much money they're making. And I'm all about the customer. I don't want them to tell me what to do. And also too, like, I just find feeding everybody is the easiest way to do it rather than writing a check. It's more personable and than running money, than rounding things up. So it's just that's the vision that I do. And if everyone's struggling, that's what I would first start doing, is start pouring into community. And you say it's a lot of money, feeding 500 people. We fed so St. Joe's Children's Hospital there. I mean, St. Joe's has 5 main hospitals. There's 15,000 employees that go there. I fed every single one of them for free.
That's freaking awesome, dude. I love that.
Will I do it again? No, absolutely not. It didn't turn out well, but just like, say it cost me 8 or 9 grand overall to do all that. I just need 3 or 4 people to order every week, and that pays for it.
Yeah.
That's it. $50 a week or $35 a week, and they do that 4 or 5 people. That just paid for my whole bill.
Yep.
So now I just hit 15,000 people. Like, that's the mindset that people have to think about. Not think about, oh my God, this thing's going to cost X amount of money. Like, we have stuff with Titus that's coming up this Saturday. So he does something really cool.
Is Titus that dude that wasn't he like
His name is Status. What's his last name?
wasn't he on Fox News or something? Is it that dude?
No, I know he's
He's like
if you just Google, he's 6'6". He is massive. He's a WWE guy. He's a wrestler, and he also played for the Bucks. But he does so much for the community. The guy that flew me up to New York on his private jet, he's friends with him. So he brought him into the restaurant 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so Titus, what he does is last year, he went to Raymond James Stadium. He has 60 dentists that come in. He has 250 healthcare workers, doctors, nurses. He has 10,000 book bags, all back to school stuff. And if you're a kid, I don't know the process to it, but if you're a kid and you go to and you're struggling, or the parents are struggling, they can't afford anything, everything there is free. So you get free dental care, cleaning, and they teach you the tools on how to clean properly. You get a free checkup, you get free food, which is why we're there. And there's 50,000 people that showed up last year.
good.
So So we're feeding 1,000 people with pizza, and then we're feeding 610 bagels in the morning next Saturday.
That's
So
crazy.
it's like, okay, so that whole thing is going to cost, I don't even know, that thing's going to cost probably a couple $1,000 food wise, and labor wise, it's not going to cost anything because I'm going to be doing it. And but it's just like, who am I going to meet after that? Think about that. It's like, who, all right, I get to meet and hang out with Titus and potentially do even more, or do a potential social media video with Titus and be able to keep growing that way. And or there's a restaurateur who we're meeting. So it's like, who knows what that's going to open. Like, it's
Yep.
just the sky's the limit there. And if you have that mentality, and I think things are going to come a lot easier, and just say yes to it and fucking figure it out. Like that's our like, I figure our slogan is that we'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it. We've been through so much shit that I'm not. You can throw anything at me and I'll fucking figure it out at this point.
I love that. And it's a Jocko Good mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've got to come down there at some point. There's a the re- I was at okay. I got sidetracked because I was asking you about the point of sale you use. Have you ever heard of one called Cake?
No.
So they're the dude who they're owned by some company called Mad Mobile, but anyway, the CEO of Cake. I'm supposed to come meet with that dude. They serve a lot of mom and pops. So I was going to come down and just talk to him and see if,
You can form some sort of partnership with them.
yeah. I mean, we have to be, dude, I'm like so careful about anybody that like we have our challenge is awareness, right? Like used to be when we first started, it was pretty easy to find us because it was like us and hot schedules. And then money was free for like a decade. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars poured into, competitors. So they buried us on, like, we had to stop doing Google ads like 7 or 8 years ago. They got so expensive and they just got all these sales and marketing, uh, just massive machines. So we kind of get buried. So it's hard for people to find Schedule Fly now. Because we're like a speakeasy, right? Like the
Right.
people that know about it, they love it and they tell their friends. But there are hundreds of thousands of restaurants out there right now that, um, like I said at the beginning of this thing, they're on pencil and paper, Excel or whatever, or they're on some other expensive software that they don't really like and they're paying a lot more money for it. And that's going to fund, their VCs and their private equity dudes' needs. So I'm like, man, I wish they just knew about us. Like
Right.
I don't ever tell anybody they should use Schedulefly. People call, they're like, why should you use Schedule? Why should we use it? Or how are you better than? I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we're better than somebody else or we're better than Excel. Like, if you got a headache with scheduling communication, we have aspirin. Try it. Like, we have a 30-day trial. Like, maybe you'll love it and stick around, or maybe you won't. Like, that's cool. Like, but we want more people to know about it. So we're in the process. I'm like, how do you know, we don't have tons of money to throw into all this stuff, and I don't want to have a team of a bunch of people, but I'd like to find other businesses that are serving the people that we would love an opportunity to serve and find ones that may be willing to go out and share our story. So for me, I have to meet with a CEO or, of another company and really understand that person before I ever want to hitch our wagon to what they're doing, right? Because you have to trust them, and that narrows our like
Right.
potential partners down like significantly. But
Because their thought process is probably like, okay, what is it in for me? How much am I making? All right, can we add on another $10 per month and then I'll make the
that's
10? And then
that's
so it's like that's where it goes back to monetary, and it doesn't go back to just culture driven and helping one out, So that's where
yep.
it sucks now, man. It really does. But it allows us opportunity for like people like you and I, where we have to think outside the box, and that's what kind of keeps us afloat and keeps us going. And I think that's where a lot of people are drawn to us. Like with your story, if everybody just knew your story, I mean, there's no reason for you to not be on the top, one or two. You know,
Right.
that's what's crazy. So it's just like just in 7 shifts alone. So just so everyone knows, like we use 7 shifts, and that's where we're switching over. And I used to use hot schedules for Chili's. You're telling me that the price that they get, let's just say Chili's gets from hot schedules, you're telling me that it's beating your price? I don't think so, man. Or is it, or are you, I think you might be even competitive with it. Um, could be slightly more because they probably have more money to where they can discount themselves below your price, but you're competing. So what's stopping Chili's from just going to you? I'm just throwing Chili's out there for example, and it's like, well, it's what's stopping Chili's going to you. It just seems that, well, Hot Schedule's got a bigger deal, or they're in cohorts with them, or they know somebody within it. Because it now that's how much are they worth, or who bought them out at this point?
Well,
You
I'll
know,
tell you, there. So I'll break a couple of these down. I mean, I know all of our competitors. I know them. I know them well. Hot Schedules was built for chains. Those
right,
guys were the guys that started Hot Schedules. None of them are still around, but they were PF Chang's dudes, and they built it to serve chains. And what chains need, lots of complexity, lots of information, lots of bells and whistles, lots of this, lots of that, whatever. Um, and they started like just before us. We started in '07. I think they were like '05 or maybe a little earlier than that. But they wanted to serve chains. We wanted to serve independents. And because independents, first of all, I don't like to have a concentration of, like, I don't want to serve a chain. Like,
right.
different kind of people. Plus, you have like somebody that's like got so much leverage over you that, oh, well, if you don't do this, we're going to yank our, 1,000 location contract with you or whatever. Like, nah, forget that. Rather just serve, I'd a
So,
hundred
but
thousand
if
times.
our culture was different, that would have never have happened. And
Well,
that's what sucks because now it's just like it's all about money. And yeah, you're right. It's all about leverage. And
it's
it's
all
just
about leverage. Yeah,
you
that's
need
right.
to do X for me instead of just you providing your service. You're doing your job. You're
Yep.
doing it well because you're getting paid the number that you're getting paid. And why can't it just stop from there? Why does it always have to like you owe me because I'm giving you X?
Oh
It's like,
well,
that's what sucks.
that's definitely how they roll. And so we were like, well, let's just serve independent restaurants. Well, how do you create awareness in this highly fragmented market of hundreds of thousands of independent restaurants? And that's where the content came in. Like that's why the podcast started. I've written 2 books called Restaurant Owners Uncorked about successful restaurant owners just from doing these interviews, right? Like, and we self-published them, put them up on Amazon, sold a bunch of copies. That's cool. We made films. Like if you go to Sean, if you go to our web, go to schedulefly.com and click stories, you'll see all these badass films that we've made over the years.
Yeah, I
About
saw your studio. Your studio's nice. I should have came up to Charlotte, man. What the hell? I didn't
Well,
get an invite?
that's my buddy's
Unbelievable.
studio. That's Robbie's studio. So when somebody, like when we film in person, I go over there. And that's really cool. But I've always felt like shit. Anyway, it's hard to reach independent restaurants, which is fine. But like you're to your point though, being creative. So check this out. Here's something that I got on a tangent. So Hot Schedules, they sold to private equity in 2019. They sold to
Mm,
Fourth. Fourth is owned by Marlin Equity Partners up in New York, massive private equity firm. They sold Hot Schedules for 300 million bucks. None of the people that were around, like all their institutional knowledge is gone now. They've lost 50% of the customers they had, like rooftops or whatever. They had like 210,000 rooftops. Um, and now they have like 120,000 or something. So I hear prices have gone way, way up. Service has
yep.
gone way, way down. So that's an easy one for us. And then 7 shifts. I know that dude, Jordan, the CEO. I've talked to Jordan multiple times. Those dudes came in about 2012. He's raised $150 million. And that's
Jesus.
not a situation I'd want to be in because, yeah, they're bigger than us and they're sort of like the standard. But guess what? That money was raised when money was free. And it was
Right.
like free for a decade for all these VCs, right? So they're just freaking throwing money left and right at everything and these crazy valuations. I can guarantee you right now, that's a tough situation to be in because now it's 2025. All those VCs are like, we want an exit. And what are you going to do with they have like payroll and stuff now too, but like, that's what you do. You have scheduling and payroll and tip outs, and it's 2025 and you've raised $150 million. Like, where's your exit for all these VCs that are like, I want my money. I want an out. Like, cause they have a short time span, right? Like private equity is like 3 to 5 years. VCs are like 5 to 7, 8 years. So that is not, I not want to be in the situation.
Yeah, it's like you want to wake up tomorrow.
I want to
It's
wait.
like
Yeah,
with no
exactly.
problems. And it's just like I want to be able to go to sleep, and it's just like having to answer to somebody, especially with that kind of leverage, it's like it's not worth it. I mean, to me,
It's
well, to me and you, it's not worth it. But to
not
somebody
worth it.
else, it's like, oh, cash in, let's get the 150 mil. That's good. Now all of a sudden, 5 years in, 10 years in, you're like, oh shit, I still have to answer these people.
And you own very little of the business. And so that's why, like, we play the long game, man. Like, we're
Yeah.
here. Like, so what's going to happen is, I think, is that, we've literally never raised our prices since 2007. Not one time. So we're low price point, great customer service, simple product. Meanwhile, all these other ones, I guarantee you in restaurant tech, the next 24 months, there's going to be a massive amount of consolidation because the money is dried up. There is no
Right.
more rounds of free money. There's going to be mergers, acquisitions, bad customer service, bad experiences, prices keep going up, blah, blah, blah. And that's where I'm like, okay, if I'm thinking about this long, I think we're in a pretty good position because people are going to start going, this sucks. Like, what else is out there? Right.
Right.
That's where I think we win. And I say win, I think we benefit. And again, not piloting a rocket ship. We're hosting a destination. We will welcome you to our destination when
Exactly.
you're ready. Like, we're
Exactly.
here for you. There's no rush. We'll take care of you when you're here, whenever you're ready. But what we're doing, like, we're doing something right now. You'll appreciate this as a dude who tries to think outside of the box and creatively. So I'm in the door right now, finally, with the decision makers at Vans, the shoe company.
Okay.
And what I've pitched to them is um, people like there's 16 million people in hospitality in the US and they want some freaking cool shoes to wear to work, like non-slip soles. A lot of times you see people wearing Vans, but I went to them. I'm like, look, there's an organization that we love called Giving Kitchen. You ought to know about them, Sean. They're in Atlanta, and Giving Kitchen supports food service workers in crisis. So you're a single mom of three, you work in a restaurant, this is a real story. You trip off a curb, you break your ankle, you have to have reconstructive surgery. You can't be on your feet for 3 months. You got 3 kids, you got mortgage, and all of a sudden you are uh, unable to pay your rent. What do? You call Giving Kitchen. You still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought something changed on my screen. I just want to make sure you're still there. So you call Giving Kitchen and they're like, cool. We got your rent and your bills for the next 4 months while
Wow.
you can't work. We'll get you back on your feet. And the origin story is incredible. It's an amazing organization. They help. I mean, every day, 16 million food service workers in our country, every day, 1% of them are in crisis. That's
Wow.
160,000. So that's what they're there to do. So instead of the single mom calling you, the owner, being like, dude, not only can I not work for you for 3 months, but like, can you loan me some money because I'm going to get evicted? Like that happens all the time, right? That's what Giving Kitchen does. So I go
That's
to
really cool.
Vans and I'm like, hey, y'all, look, why don't you make a custom shoe designed for hospitality workers and we'll we schedule fly our 250,000 employees across 5,000 restaurants. We will be your like incubator for you to market that to see if this is like something that's going to take. And you give proceeds from the sale of every pair of shoes to Giving Kitchen. So you've got this
That's so
nice
cool.
philanthropic piece. And if it works, And if this shoe takes and people are buying it through us, well, now you've got 16 million people that work in hospitality in the US. You have a great product and you have a great mission behind it. Let's do this. And so I've been working on that for a little while. I finally willed my way into the door of the decision makers at Vans. They're both in New York. I'm going to New York in 2 weeks. Hopefully, I'm going for something else, but I'm hoping that I'm going to get FaceTime with them because they have said, all right, dude, like this is interesting. Let's talk. So we'll see.
So he's gonna knock on their door and be like, "I'm here. Let's do it."
Well, I'm like one of the dudes is on vacation this week. So next week is my chance to try to get that meeting secured while I'm in New York the week after next because I'm there
That's
for
so
four
cool.
days. And
Oh shit.
this went from like, this is probably a crazy idea, but I think it's cool to me writing a blog post, to me obsessively trying to find people that know somebody at Vans over the last few weeks to like getting in the door. And
That's so cool.
we're going to make this happen. Like it has to happen. But to your point, that's the kind of stuff that gets me up in the morning and be like,
I love it.
create an idea out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Let's try to make this shit happen.
Let's try it. Yeah. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Okay, we pivot and try something else. Like that's the way I'm looking at it. So
yeah, that's how I like to. So the byproduct of that is, sure, we'll get a lot more people that know about Schedule Fly just because of all this and Vans telling some story about how, whatever. But like, I'd rather people find out about us through that or doing like pay it
1,000%.
forward or whatever than like throwing a bunch of money at, aggressive salespeople or, advertising or whatever else. Like,
Right. Absolutely. No, that's what we do. I mean, it literally aligns up to exactly what we're doing. So it's like, I don't need to be in your face paying all this money to get in front, like put the billboards up, and I don't need any of that shit. But I'll feed everybody who put the billboard up, so or like I'll feed all the like I don't know anybody at this point. It's just this sky's the limit, and you just never know what happens, and it's just. I'm right with you, brother. That's fucking awesome, dude. That's so cool. Any way I can help, just throw it my way. I'm all for it. So if I can spread the word down here even more, with what you're trying to do, especially when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, that's huge, especially with giving and yeah, I gotta look them up in Atlanta. I think that's really, really fucking cool. They probably have some organizations down here in Florida like that, similar to it. I'll look into that and see what we can do to try to help or bring awareness. I think that's all it is. It's just like with your marketing and my marketing, it's just awareness. It's just as if when people find out about you, they're hooked. It's just getting to that point where now it's just everything's on social media and technology. So it's just how do I get there without it costing me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars? Because that's what the big guys force it to be now, to where it's completely unrealistic for you to get in front of everybody so quickly nowadays without throwing money into it. But you kind of work your way around it. And like I always say, you want to be that water, right? So the water blends in everywhere. It fills in all the cracks. It doesn't. There's no shape to you. You can't throw anything at you without the water just going in there. You know what I mean? So it's like, throw it at me. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I've been through so much shit, so it's not gonna work. You're not gonna win that game. And I think that's what it comes down to, is just competitive, right? So it's just, I played as a game, this similar to you said a few times. It's like a game, it's like, bring it on, I'll shut you guys down. It's like, I don't know, man. It's fun, dude. That's why I love doing this, and every day is so different. And I look forward to I can't wait to go to the restaurant today. Like, just, it's a Friday, and like, we're fucking geared up. I got my distributor, since we have a great relationship with a lot of people. My distributor, her name is Stephanie, she does all the samples, and she gives samples to all of her customers. And in the meantime, she uses us as like a destination because we're closer to her house. So she brings all the samples to our restaurant. Well, we just got freaking steaks yesterday. So it's like, now we got some steaks for lunch now for the crew. So it's just like stuff like that we're looking forward to. You start building these relationships up, taking care of people, doing favors, and then all of a sudden you don't expect it, and then people just like help you out, and I think that's what's so cool about this industry and everything else. So,
all right, man. Well, all right, man. we said we'd go like 7 to 8. It might bleed over. We've been talking an hour and 40 minutes. I bet you and I could
We
talk
got
for.
more.
I bet we could talk for
We still
more.
got to talk about accounting. We still got to talk about
Yeah.
I have a ticket agency. We still got to talk about what else? T-shirt business. What else?
Dude.
We'll do that. We'll do that another time, brother.
We'll do that. Well, what I'll do is when I come to Tampa is I've actually got I've got like a professional recorder and mics and headphones, and like when I'm on the road, which is what I'm going to be doing in New York, I'll go to a restaurant and sit down with a customer and just put everything on and just record a podcast right
Dude, that'd
there.
be so cool. That would be so cool. Yeah, I've done
Those
a
are all
few of these already. We've done Grande. Grande is huge. We're huge. I don't know if do you know Grande cheese?
no.
It's a Wisconsin cheese. It's to
Oh,
us.
I think I
It,
do. I
it's
think I do.
to us, and when it comes to cheese, it's the Ferrari of cheeses.
The
And
full bucket cheese.
that's the way I look at it. It's just like no, nothing can compare to this type of cheese. That's just how we do it. We're very loyal. We're also very loyal people. So it's you do right to us. We always do right to you. And it doesn't matter what the price is. They're the most expensive cheese on the market when it comes to uh uh. Mozzarella and it comes to like shredded mozzarella and the Italian brands. Um, but you get what you pay for, brother. So it's like you not only get the quality behind every single product, but the service alone is a mom pop shop service. It's I call, they answer, and they're just. I've done a few podcasts with them. We've done a few commercials with them during COVID. The CEO wrote checks out to everybody, just thanking everybody for what they're doing, and obviously knowing that the times are rough. They wrote thousands of dollars per independent pizzeria. It's like, what fucking CEO is doing that? That's coming out of his check. You know what I mean? So he didn't have to do that. So it's
No,
like it's unheard of. You think a corporation is going to do that? Hell no. Hell
no.
no. This is a place that's been run down with not run down, but ran from a family. So it's I want to surround myself with those type of people, and I have to throw Grande in there as one of them. So those who have not experienced Grande, you should definitely consider it. And they have a whole marketing side and printing company as well that's attached to it. That's inexpensive, similar to what you do. They're not they're they're trying to compete with. It's an added tool to their cheese. So they'll be very competitive to Vistaprint and all the other bullshit. So and they're there to help you as as independent operator, and that's where it's like those who you want some cheese, go to Grande Cheese. Talk to Tim, talk to our girl Emily. So it's just they're just really good stand up people, and that's where we got to keep surrounding ourselves with them.
Got to. Got to. Dude, I love this. Well, I'm gonna wrap. I've got a 9 o'clock call. So I'll let you run, and you've got a trial running for one of your locations in Schedule Fly right now,
Yeah,
right?
I got to get that going. I'll probably honestly do it all on Monday. I keep saying Monday, but this Monday is going to be Mondays are my office days.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do both restaurants on Monday and get that underway.
Do you have, I know you've got one in trial. Do your employees work at both locations? Do they go back and forth or
Not really. Some may do, but it's very rare. It's kind of each of them are running its own.
set up a second trial? Go
Okay.
back to schedulefly.com, click free trial, fill out the form for the other location.
Yep.
You'll have two accounts. I'll build you a dashboard so that when
Cool.
you log in, you'll see both locations. You can jump in and out, but you can, if you need to, you could send a message to like as an example on the dashboard, you could send a message to all of your employees at both locations. It'll go out as an email. It'll post to the dashboard. It'll go out as a text. Like if you were like, hey, we're opening an hour late today because of whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
thing you need to tell, or like, hey, everybody, you guys are crushing it and I love you, or whatever. Like you can just do that from one place. Email, text, wall post, like real simple tool. But if you set that second one up, I'll get that going and then we'll get you squared away.
That's perfect. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity and discussion because everyone needs to do more of these. And I think that's where our downfall is the lack of communication. And I
Yep.
really try to preach this to especially the younger generation. And now, like, as I'm getting older, I'm saying it now. I feel like I'm my father, but I feel like it's the missing link to a lot of our issues in today's society is just having discussions. And you may disagree with certain things, and I may disagree, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that we can no longer be friends because you have one view and I have another. And I think a lot of discussions, just in general, it will solve a lot of those issues. And also, too, like just our discussion alone, it's just going to be somebody may pick something out of it. I don't fucking know. Or like I pick a
Right.
lot of stuff from you, so it's just by having this discussion and taking time for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, it's so crucial, man. It's an unheard of dying breed. And I think that's what we got to keep on.
Love it. Amen. Amen, man.
And then just keep me updated when you're coming down here, brother. And then we'll get something together. We go to either the bakery, the bakery's brand new, or you
Yeah.
go to the restaurant that was burnt down, and you can take a look at what we've done there. And I'm excited for you to try the food as well. So come hungry as well. Okay.
Last question.
Yeah.
Are your folks still around?
They are. My father's struggling. He's got COPD. He's been smoking for, well, not anymore, but he's been smoking for, I don't know, 70 years. So he's got COPD and emphysema. So he's struggling big time. But mom is taking care of him very well. And yeah, they're still kicking. They're still kicking. They're fucking awesome people, man. The dying breed with that generation. It's sad to see it, but I'm very honored to be a part of it, especially with my generation where it was before social media. We were like the last generation to get behind that and be involved with the traditions
Yeah.
and to stay involved with the traditions and be able to pass that on to my kids. It's really cool to see and not just throw a device at the person and say, here you go. This is life. Go figure it out. And I feel like that's what's been happening. That's the easiest way out. And that's actually what's destroying, I think, our youth. But it's an honor for sure to be a part of that generation. You know it.
Absolutely. Amen.
Yeah.
All right, man. Sean, we'll wrap with that. I appreciate you very much, man.
Thanks,
Thank you.
brother. Hey, have a great day. Text me or call me if you need me, okay?
Same. All right. See
Later,
ya.
brother.